Hello and welcome back to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name's Neil Trigger, I'm going to be your magical host, and today I'm kind of copying someone else. So full disclosure, if you haven't already seen this on Kaylee Christensen's channel, she created something very, very similar, and this is frankly where I got my idea from. I have spoken to her about it, she's totally cool with it, but today I am going to be making some sorting frogs. Not just sorting hats, because obviously with the Harry Potter universe, you have a hat that you put on your head and you get sorted into your houses. I'm going to be making some chocolate creams, mint peppermint creams. It'll be nice. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm going to be making them in the form of chocolate frogs, a bit like this. So I've got one of these molds here. Hopefully you can see it on the green screen. I don't know whether you can, but I'm going to show you the whole process without the green screen, because I don't think I'm going to be able to make frogs with a green screen. So yeah, check this out, it's going to be good. So the whole idea is that we're going to have chocolate frogs, a bit like from Honeydukes, and inside they're going to be filled with a peppermint cream. The peppermint cream itself is going to be coloured with the 4 Hogwarts houses, so Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor and Slytherin. So I'm personally a Ravenclaw. It'll be interesting to see whether once I've mixed these up I do get Ravenclaw, or whether or not I'm sorted into a different house. Let's see. But in the meantime, let's prepare all of this sort of stuff and head on over to the kitchen. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to pour some peppermint into a bowl that already has a little bit of icing sugar in, not a huge amount, but then get some water with a jug and spoon very gently and mix it into the peppermint and icing sugar mix. Mix that up nice and thoroughly until it's kind of gloopy, not thoroughly like water, but a little bit gloopy. I've added a little bit too much water, so I'll add a bit more icing sugar into the mix and then just stir it thoroughly. It should start smelling quite nice, and you might want to taste it as well just to make sure it's not too overpowering. But once you've got that and you've melted your chocolate, just do that in the microwave. Kaylee's got some really good advice on how to melt a chocolate in a microwave. Only do it in 10-second intervals. And then you're going to need 4 little glasses and 4 little spoons. Separate the peppermint mixture and also give the chocolate a stir every now and then using the microwave and making sure it is thoroughly melted. Using the frog moulds, just pour in, and you might want to use a piping bag. Kaylee certainly did that, and she also waited, I think, until it was a little bit stiffer rather than just using it like chocolatey water, because this was a bit too melted, to be honest. I probably should have tempered it a little bit, but never mind. So once you've done that, just make sure they're fairly thin, not very, very thin so that they break. And I think this was a mistake that I made. I'll show you that in a minute. But don't make them too thick either, because you do want these things to be hollow. You might want to use a piping bag, as I've already said. I've made quite a bit of a mess on this. And then we move on to actually colouring the icing. Give that a tap just to make sure there are no air bubbles and put that in the fridge. Then we move on to the icing sugar itself. So this is the icing sugar peppermint mix stuff, and we're going to separate that out. Also, you might want to test it with your finger just to make sure that chocolate is the right temperature. I don't know, I'm just making an excuse actually, I just wanted to try it. So colour these up, so green for Slytherin, a bit of yellow for Hufflepuff. I think Ravenclaw comes next with blue. The blue's quite potent, so you only need probably one of those. The red, a little bit more difficult, so rather than turning pink, I wanted it to turn a bit more red, so I added, as you can see there, a couple more extra drops. The red did taste a little bit chemically, but not too bad. So you then start filling the shells once they're out of the fridge. You also might want to put the icing sugar mix back into the fridge before you do the next step, which you'll see right here is where you start covering it with the molten chocolate. And the reason that you do that is to stop the icing from kind of getting too gloopy. You kind of want it to firm up a bit. Once you've done that, you grab out a pint glass and you crack open some cider and you leave it for a bit. Nice. Okay, so once the whole thing is out of the fridge, you're ready to tap them out onto a plate and do a bit of cleanup with either a knife or a sharp spoon. Of course, you're going to use a knife, don't use a sharp spoon. So just pop those out, and as you can see there, the Hufflepuff one has leaked a little bit, so you might want to do a little bit of cleanup and possibly even touch it up with some molten chocolate just to make sure that it won't show, because the whole point in these sorting frogs is that you don't know what they are before you actually bite into them. So let's pop all of those out onto a plate, and then you can kind of see what I mean about the leakage. This isn't really very good, but never mind. Once you've done all that, obviously you're going to have to clean up. I don't think that mould is dishwasher safe, so you might want to have to do that by hand. And here are all the frogs that I've made, and you can see they are starting to sort of almost bobble a little bit with the different colours, and it does kind of give the game away. So make sure that you don't do what I did. Try and be a bit more patient, and if you can, put the peppermint icing sugar mixture back into the fridge before you start proceeding with the closing it off at the bottom. Okay, so this one's going to be a bit of a selfie. I've got my chocolate frog here. I genuinely don't know what flavour this one, I do know what flavour it is, I don't know what colour it is. As you've probably seen from the photographs, they have leaked a little bit, but this one hasn't, and I don't know what it is, so I'm going to test it out and see whether or not I am actually a Ravenclaw. Let's see. That's green. I'm a Slytherin. Nice though. So there you have it. This guy who used to be a Hufflepuff was then selected into Ravenclaw by Pottermore when he forgot his login details, has now been sorted into Slytherin. Oh, hello, I'm a Dementor. Whoa. If you want to know what chocolate frog you would get, subscribe, click the bell button to be notified of next time I go live, and I will be doing a sorting ceremony then. I'll pick out a chocolate frog for you. Unfortunately, I can't send it to you, so I'm just going to have to eat it for myself. If you like this video, click that like button, ring the bell to turn on notifications, and remember, I've got a Patreon channel, an Etsy shop, website, and PayPal details all down in the description, and I'm also planning a wand battle that you should really check out. The link is up here. That's pretty much it from me for now. I'll be back next time with some more magical awesomeness, but until next time, as always,
stay magical! Please subscribe to Real World Magic. While you're there, click the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and have a look at all of my social stuff. Remember to donate on Patreon if you really, really liked it, and I'll see you again next week.